This week's trek comes from Alford at the Grampian Transport Museum. We'll also be going over to Haughton Park via the Alford Community Railway, the Heritage Railway, for a lot of fun. Now this is the second attempt at making this video, and you will see later when I go onto my iPhone for the second part of the video. Out here a couple of weeks ago with the camera, and we had some issues and data was corrupted, so we've come back out to refilm the museum part of the video, and then we'll splice in the later part of the video later. So yeah, halfway through the video you'll probably see me with a longer beard and a change of clothes. Buckrose lady. It's gorgeous. They kind of remind you on Mr. Toad's car from Wind in the Willows. Billy Connolly's trike from Billy Connolly's World Tour of England, Ireland and Wales. Beautiful machine. This Mini from the 1970s, the good old-fashioned Mini Cooper. This one, owned by the sadly missed Cilla Black. Just above her, the Jag E type Series 3, one of the most beautiful cars ever, I think. Beautiful Formula One car from 2001, Eddie Irvine's Jaguar. If I can remember correctly, it was an absolute rubbish car, but beautiful, nothing less. Keeping with the Formula One theme, Erta Senna's race helmet. Signed Eddie Irvine gloves from when he was at Ferrari, and this is a race suit worn by Mika Salo. It was only worn in a photo shoot because in the photographs they noticed one of the sponsors was incorrect, so they had to change it before the race.
Do you know when it called love, when to become one? And I felt like a boom in your arms, I called home. Do you know when it called love, when to become one? And I felt like a boom in your arms, I called home. It feels like paradise when your hands are in mine. It feels like paradise when I drown into your eyes. Like it feels like paradise when your hands are in mine. It feels like paradise when I drown into your eyes. Like a paradise. Do you know when it called love, when to like a boom. In your arms I call home. It feels like paradise when your hands are in mine. It feels like paradise when I drown into your eyes. Like it feels like paradise when your hands are in mine. It feels like paradise when I drown into your eyes. Like a paradise.
Experimental motorcycle from 1902. Fans of British comedy will recognise this. The good old Reliant Supervan, the Reliant Robin. Known this day and age as for Only Fools and Horses or the Trotters independent trading vehicle. Iconic. This is, of course, an old Reliant Robin that has been spray painted to look like the one from the show. Here is a tram from Aberdeen. The once Aberdeen City trams going from Union Terrace in the city centre through Rosemount and up Mile End. That means it probably would have terminated about a mile from my house. And this one I take great pride in for the Croon Bay Hotel, my home village. This was the trams that used to take people from the train station to the luxurious Croon Bay Hotel, which is sadly no longer with us, having been pulled down and bulldozed many years ago. But this one was actually found. A farmer had it, and they've spent many a penny to restore it back to glory. This wouldn't have been a long journey, probably about a mile, more or less. Quite near where my parents stay in the house we grew up in. I suppose it would have been luxurious at the time. Quite nostalgic. Now in the Top Gear exhibit we have Jeremy Clarkson's Porsche, a homemade ambulance, which he nicknamed their ambulance. This ramp here used to come down and it would barge stuff out of the way. I can still see the crack in the window. If I can remember correctly, watching the show, the siren was Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. And here we have the the vehicle that they designed themselves. This looks like it's taking a right battering. But yeah, that's where Hammond would have been, head would have been sitting in the middle there. Here are the three mobility scooters that the trio raced some army veterans up a hill in Wales, I think it was, to no success. Off-road mobility scooters. Here we have the Jaguar XJS that Clarkson turned into a train. It would run on the tracks. This was the carriage it came with his big smile. Here is James May's Lotus XL that was made in a camper van, and the camper van road trip that they took to Cornwall with this roof box where James May would sleep. Bad idea, really bad idea. Here we have the three amphibious vehicles that the Top Gear crew tried to take through over the channel to France. This would have been Hammond's, which inevitably sunk. See a good bit of damage there. And then here's the pickup truck that all three of them did make it in. Clarkson's vehicle. And of course, James May's Triumph Herald sailboat. Which he used twice. And of course, sank at Calais also. Here is the P45 that Clarkson designed to be his version of the world's smallest car. And for me, here is the real icing on the cake, the indestructible Toyota Hilux that has been sunk in the sea, driven into a door, hit by a wrecking ball. It's been set on fire and it has been blown up from the top of a high rise down to the ground, and still the engine started. They were so impressed with it that they put it up on a pedestal and kept it in the studio for as long as the Clarkson, Hammond and May run of the show lasted. I want to say 23 seasons, but here it is. But history right here. Look at the damage. Still some fire damage in the vehicle. Wow, really has been untouched. So the Grampian Transport Museum was great, and all those classic cars, and all the Top Gear stuff. Fantastic, brilliant, loved it. Now filming on my iPhone, as there seems to be something wrong with the SD card in the camera. So I hope I haven't lost any footage. Be a disaster if it is. Just means we'll have to take another trip out. Now we're going to go and take a ride on the railway, on the Alford Community Railway. Just a small, fun-sized railway. It takes us round to Haughton Park. So it'll be good having been on it since I was a kid. Remember, the train used to come down from this way. We'd cross the road here. And we go down here, past this pond. To which I can always remember there being pools in. Sun's getting in the way. I'm not going to see much wildlife in there today. Nice bench in the shade. We would continue here under the road in this tunnel. So peaceful. Look at that. Wonder that's part of the old track. Wonder if that's one of the wooden panels for the old track. I think it would continue on here for about a quarter mile or so before hitting a dead end and then coming back. Quite overgrown. I'm sure there's plenty of wildlife here. You can hear birds, but I'm sure there's rabbits and deer around here as well. That's a big tree stump. Crazy to think how old it is. It's about 6 foot high. Trim track and River Dawn. Yeah, let's go up to the River Don, see what it's like at this end. Starting to get a bit of open land now, out of the wood. Towards a caravan park. Out that way. Which way to go? What's behind door number 2? Let's go this way. Who knows where we will end up. Path number 2 took us to this area here. Seems to be an open play area with possibly an obstacle course further down. Oh, you know what? Let's just follow the track round and see. Who knows? We might not find the river. Getting a bit windy here. Oh, maybe it is the river. With the wind, it wouldn't surprise me. I think we've just found the River Don. It's definitely the River Don now. So this takes us all the way back into Donside, into Aberdeen. And then out to the North Sea through Aberdeen. Mentioned this path being some sort of obstacle course. Just walking down by the river. Seems to be a bar there as well. Further down, some sort of monkey bars, pull-up bars, whatever you call them. I'm at an age, underweight, but I don't want to be pulling my whole body up with the lack of upper body strength I have anymore. Yeah, maybe I could do this one. It's only about 6.5 feet from the ground, but no. So walking down the path, down in a kink in the river. Seen a couple of anglers casting off. Following this track up here, taking us to Gate, where that caravan park is. Now I'm thinking it'll be okay to go through, but I don't want to disturb anyone's filming in their holiday homes, so we shall backtrack and find a new route. out, it looks like pathway number 3 was the right one. There's the bridge we came across. That would have been path number 1. Path number 2 that we did take, and path number 3. That's okay. It was a nice walk. You know, when the sun comes out and the wind doesn't blow, it's really nice here. Really nice in this wood. See some blue sky up above me. That is some tree, very picturesque. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And here is Haughton House, which would have been the main estate. Some size. But the owners of this place would have owned the whole area. Nowadays it acts as the base for the holiday park, and there's a cafe, coffee shop inside. Some house back in the day. So a nice day out in Alford, Aberdeenshire, into the Grampian Transport Museum. Get to see all the classic cars, the Top Gear stuff. Fantastic. I'm a big fan of the show, always have been. So it was really good to see some of that. And then onto the Alford Valley Community Railway down to Haughton Park, bringing back some old memories of childhood and some nostalgia. Turns out I know the conductor having it for a long time, so it's good to catch up with him. So, glad to be here today. And nice wee trek, not far from home, only 45 minutes from home. So,
reversing for 15 minutes. I'm sure you'll be okay.